My name is Emma Leppä, and this presentation is on Gröningen Bispeparken, designed by SLA. And it's a landscape architecture project that is situated in an affordable housing area in Copenhagen that was built mainly in the 1940s. And here we can see a picture of the park finished and from a bit further away as well. So as we can see, this is quite long and narrow park, and at the very end there is also this church called Grundtvigs Church, which is it's expressionist brick architecture, and we will talk a little bit later about how it was integrated into the design of this park. But I would like to now touch on kind of the main research component and driving concept for this park, which was to really take into account the increasing amount of rainfall that has been happening because of climate change. So basically, this park was designed to accommodate a lot of water, and here in this picture we can see these kind of blue spots. So these are called bioswales by SLA, and they are designed to gather and hold water, and there are 18 of them. So that's their function, but they also kind of have another task or kind of ability. So when they are dry, they turn into social swales. So they are basically places that people can meet each other, gather, have fun, do whatever they find best suited for them. They are just kind of different style public spaces in the park. So that's the main concept. Other goals that this design had was to kind of unite the two sides of the park. SLA conducted research locally and interviewed some of the residents, and they found out that this park in between was seen a little bit more as a barrier rather than a kind of common place between the houses. So children from one side of the park were not usually even playing with the other children that lived on the other side. So there was a kind of lack of ownership for the park, and it wasn't uniting people, and also not handling the rain as well as it was hoped. And the third goal was then to make this area more diverse. So lots of new species of plants were added, so animals could have a better chance of thriving there, and just making it more kind of, or enriching it. So here we can see a bioswale doing its job, gathering the water, and there's quite a lot of water, so definitely needed. And also some pictures from before and after. So like I described, it was this kind of barrier in between the buildings, and quite simple, not that many kind of different places of different personality, no kind of joy of finding maybe. But at the bottom here we can see the difference that has now happened. So SLA has created different paths. They have modified the terrain because of the rainwater, added more species, and then in their own words, they have added structures that are weak in their form and that allow users to define them, or define however they should be used. So here we can see this kind of wooden walkway structure, and also here in this picture. So not structurally weak, just weak in their form, so that they can invite kind of lots of different types of activity and use. In this picture, we can kind of talk about the church. So something that they mentioned as well is that they changed asphalt from this park to this kind of light gray tile that is supposed to kind of mirror the materials used in the Grundtvigs church. So that was a way to make it tied to the environment and culture around it. And they also used recycled materials, which was to lower the carbon footprint of the project. And also a detail here in the pavement of how they have designed for the water to flow. So really just taking the water into the design and seeing it kind of like as a playful element, not something that they should be afraid of. So yeah, last picture here, kind of talking about the social aspect. We can see people using the swale now during a kind of nice sunny day when it's dry, for whatever play or hanging out it seems like they are doing. Yeah. So next I would like to discuss the research and design process and how SLA kind of displayed that on their website. They describe this project as being Copenhagen's most radical nature-based climate adaptation project, which is quite a big title, but it was really well perceived as well, this project. It won Årets Arne Prize 2025, which is an international landscape architecture prize, and it has gotten good feedback from residents and users. But basically they are kind of marketing the project as being quite radical, yeah, and really taking into account climate adaptation, climate change, and adapting to that, I mean. But yes, the kind of research and design process that they described on their website is a little bit vague. It's kind of like scratching the surface of what was done. A lot, I guess, is left unsaid, but they do also have this video which kind of gives more insight into the process. Here we can see kind of locals and collaboration workshop going on with them, as well as this small scale model then underneath it with it seems like different species being put into certain parts of the park and how they are being kind of designed, that is being designed as well into the park. And then also this 1-to-1 scale model that they did on top of the pre-existing park that let residents interact with the plan before it was fully realized. So they do show you kind of the process, but just the fact that it's in a video format makes it less accessible and harder to kind of research-wise take in. And yeah, the information is not that readily available. It's something that you kind of have to filter out yourself as you watch the video. But I would like to point out that even though SLA doesn't kind of directly, SLA doesn't directly market this project as being research through design. So in that sense, it's not like, I don't think it's ethically wrong that the research is not like extremely transparent. because that's not something that they're claiming to do, but they are like showing this kind of innovation that could be shared and could be utilized in other projects and other locations as well. So I think in that sense it would be quite helpful for the information to be more readily available and kind of developed upon. But it is understandable that not everything is available because these kind of projects, you have to compete for them. So just giving everything out could maybe not, could kind of worsen your chances of maybe making better projects than everyone else. But then again, this kind of park is a public space, and it's for everyone to use that goes there, and designing public space and good public space is difficult. So if there is a kind of good solution found, it could be useful to have it available, so that it could be recreated, or kind of not exactly recreated, of course, but then worked upon and developed upon. But yes, I would like to just say also that I do think that the research components that they did here, they kind of describe that they have done lots of collaboration with geographers, anthropologists, and artists, and different professionals, and also residents and locals. It has been fruitful and created a unique park and kind of new creative space that is sophisticated and playful. So the work really has have had an impact on the final product, I think, and it's not just science washing or anything like that. Because I think that a nice park like this could be attained even if it was just formed on an aesthetic basis, like this kind of modification of the terrain and adding different species and whatnot. It could happen, but because there is this underlying kind of research and environmental component that is really present and noticeable in the project, it just brings new meaning and new functionality to this park that I think is kind of has been well done and is important. Yeah, this is the last slide. I think actually all my research thoughts I already went through on the previous slide. So yeah, this was a project by SLA. I think it was quite interesting. And yeah, thank you for watching.